Hello there, welcome to Chipola College Television. This is Chipola Talks. Chipola is where we are, talk is what we do. And here lately I've had people that can out-talk me. Well, I've got one with me today that he can blow more smoke than Robert Trammell, Charles Brown, Jan Shadburn, and Brian Craven put together. Trust me. Who'd I got with me today?
Jacob H. Cobb Baxter.
Cobb Baxter. Look at this redneck relativity, I see.
Yes, sir.
Jacob, you came to Chipola.
Yes, sir, I did.
Yeah, what year did you get out of here?
Well, it depends on which time you ask. The first time in 2002.
Yeah.
That was when I got my AA. It only took me 3 years to get it, but, you know, I graduated from Malone High School, so.
Oh, God, they're going to get you in Malone now.
Go Tigers.
Yeah.
No, I actually had a problem with my math. Not to blame Malone there.
Yeah.
I actually do have a lot of love for that school. And then I came back in 2006 and got my corrections certificate where I'm now an adult babysitter.
Do you, we'll get to that in just a minute. Well, how many hours did you have to go to the corrections thing?
I believe.
450? What was it? I don't remember. It was more than that?
I don't even remember. That was.
How long did it take you to do that?
3 months.
So y'all just lived and breathed it day and night, or was it nighttime?
Oh, it was daytime. That's pretty much what we did. Now, it felt like it sometimes.
Yeah. Well, they have some nighttime academies now.
Yes, so they were running them whenever I was there.
Crossovers and all that sort of stuff. I really need to get them up here and talk about everything that they do have.
It's a wonderful program. It really is. It taught me a lot going in. We had a lot of good instructors, really taught us a lot. Now, granted, anytime you go into anything, you need OJT on the job to really learn everything.
Yeah.
But going in, it was a wonderful basis to start. Good program, just like everything else here at Chipola. The only really bad thing I can say about Chipola is that we're still growing on the 4-year degrees, you know,
Yeah.
and I know that'll take time.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're ahead of some schools. We're behind some others as far as the ones that have gone to the state college stuff. But still, which is fine. I mean, when you look over there, TCC's got 17,000 students, and
exactly.
We got 2,100, and Gulf Coast got about 8,000, and OW over yonder's OW we call it.
OW.
Yeah, calling is they've got about, I would say 11, but I don't even really know. Pensacola about the same, but we're the smallest. We're the third smallest in the state of Florida. The Keys is the smallest, because nobody wants to drive that 50 miles on one bridge to get out there to go to school. And there's not that many people there. I mean, they have 300 or 400 is all they got.
But you know what? Still #1 in the hearts of the alumni.
Oh, I heard it. I heard it.
Yes, sir.
Now, you're wearing around your neck a Mr. Chipola 2001.
Yes, sir, I am.
Did you stuff the ballot box? How did you get that?
I didn't stuff the ballot box. I had to stuff a couple of wallets.
Oh, I see. Well, who voted for you?
Well,
what groups were you in?
Apparently more people than anybody else.
That's true.
I was in quite a few groups. I was part of the theater group, helping build some of the sets with the tech. Sermon is running a wonderful program. My first year here was Sermon's first year, and seeing what he's done from doing the theater where it was to that big old complex y'all got now, it's just wonderful, man. I tell you, it's like watching a child grow up, and I mean, it's really great for, you know, Chipola to do that. I was also Brain Bowl captain.
You were?
I was.
How did we do there in those years?
Not so great. Not so great, but we went to some tournaments and we had a good time, and I think I was probably responsible for what little bit of hair that Mr. Roach had left starting to fall out.
Roach was doing it?
He was.
Well, now, you know, they won 6 years in a row.
Him and Miss Cavan. They didn't start that till after I left, but...
Well, no, you got it started is what
that's
you did.
Right.
They were doing it, but they got it back going again when you were here. I mean, it wasn't moving too good till you got here, though.
Well, I figured in my absence they had to jump up and fill the awesomeness void.
I hear you.
And they did a wonderful job with that.
Well, now that has nothing to do with Mr. Chipola. That was happened during homecoming week.
It did.
And how long do you get to keep Mr. Chipola title till the next homecoming?
Till the next homecoming for a whole year, but I tell you what, I'm going to ride that dead horse till I can't ride it no more.
Well, did you get a free parking space or hamburgers free for a week or anything? Nothing. Free books? Nothing.
I got this right here, which is wonderful jewelry. I got that, and I tell you what, it was it was a great thing because it was actually a very pivotal moment in my life, believe it or not, and I actually touched upon that in the book.
In the book. So that's what we're going to talk about, and I'm going to reach and get it if I can.
Yes, sir.
All right, this is called Redneck Relativity, Jacob H. Cobb Baxter.
Yes, sir.
Now, how can someone get one of these if they decide after we talk about it a little bit? How can they get one?
Well, like any true entrepreneur, I usually keep a few in the back of my truck.
Right, and
it's also available on Amazon.com.
And it's called Redneck Relativity. What does that mean? I know the redneck part. I can see that right off the bat. But what does the relativity mean?
Well, it refers to the relativity of the things around us in life that apply to life, what we can learn from things, kind of like if Aesop was Jeff Foxworthy, what would have been generated in ancient Greece. Things that you can learn from, such as one of my favorite analogies in there was in each chapter in there is focused on a specific different object or something found in life. And one chapter that I did dealt with automobiles, and I touched on in there using automobiles as a metaphor for race relations. For instance, if you have a championship race car and it's white, you take that car and you paint it black, it's still going to run just as good.
Yep, that's good.
The paint color doesn't matter. Now, if you take said car and you paint it back white, it's still going to run just the same. But if you take any one of those parts, engines, transmissions, rear end, whatever you do, any part of that, and you change it out to something that is not as good as what was originally in the car, it's not going to run as good. Why? Because the internals aren't as good. People are like that. Our paint job don't matter. It's our internals, how well our internals run.
Well, let me read some of the titles. Any of them you want to jump on while we're going down? We've got about 10, 15 more minutes. The best books you'll ever read. A diverse world after all. What do you mean after all? You didn't think it was a diverse world till you got an adult?
It was actually more of a pun. I had "It's a Small World" going in my head. That song just sometimes gets.
Boom, 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 boom,
it's in my head now.
Lockdown life.
That was about working in the corrections industry, and that one was also very special to me. Talking about that one, because it actually jump-started an idea that I touched on in every chapter in there.
Snow Day.
Snow Day. That was a story from my childhood about the first time I ever saw snow.
It makes perfect sense. That about your kitty cat? You still got him?
Not anymore. Poor Socks.
People burgers.
People burgers.
What is that?
It tells how people are like hamburgers. The diversity of people and how everything works together. And like you take a hamburger. Let's just go with one of my personal favorites, the Whataburger. Man, I tell you what, I could eat my weight in Whataburger. All 378 pounds, which by that time would be a lot higher than 378 pounds. But you got your bun, you got your meat, you got your ketchup, mustard, onion, lettuce, tomato. You got all that, okay? You got all these different things. They're all different colors, all different consistencies, coming from a lot of different places. You got your grains, you got your meat, you got your veggies, and I actually read somewhere that a tomato is actually a fruit. But you got all those different things, and does it really matter that they come from different backgrounds and different bases? No, it don't. All that matters is that they work together for a wonderful taste in your mouth, brother.
So the next was how shocking. Is that because it was shocked that the people burgers work? Seeds of the Future.
That was also a very wonderful one. Seeds of the Future. That one was actually the one in which I was referring to earlier about winning Mr. Chipola.
Yeah.
That chapter, I did some dedications in the front of the book. And one dedication that I definitely want to get out the way before I do anything else, because this is very near and dear to my heart, is I did a complete dedication to the current former members and families of our armed forces. Because without those people,
we'd not be where we are.
And I would not have had the right to write that book. And one thing that's often overlooked is, you have the mamas and daddies that get deployed, but you also have the spouses that stay at home and take care of the home front. And you also have the children that do without. So I did a dedication to them, and so help me, I make a solemn vow that every book that I do from here on out will have a dedication to our military. But I did a dedication in that chapter. That was to my mama.
Yep.
One thing I was going through was I didn't have room to just do a full dedication, to everybody in the beginning. So it seemed like a couple of chapters just seemed to apply to people in general. So every chapter has either a dedication or a thank you to somebody who's either passed or still with us.
The love of family. Down, set, hike. That sounds like football.
Yes, sir, it is.
Moving. Is that about thoughts? Moving thoughts. That looks like a cow.
It is. I grew up on a cow farm and kind of hated it growing up, but
now you're glad you did.
Well, as I got older, I began to figure out some of the things that I learned from it, kind of extrapolated. That's a big word right there.
I heard that. Six-string sensibility.
That's something near and dear to your heart, ain't it?
I said, picking that sixth string. What's the relationship there?
Oh my, the guitars, as I call them. The guitars. There's actually a lot you can learn. That was actually the first one that I wrote with these. Most people know me for my humor, and there is a little humor speculated in there. But I had I don't want to get a slander charge put on me, but
don't do it.
I had some. All I'll say is I had someone from my past who is no longer in my life tell me that I could not write anything serious, that I was so silly. And so basically that was a challenge, and that one was the first one that I undertook. And the way that the guitars apply to life is like you take your basic acoustic guitar. It's built like a person. You got a body, a neck, and a head. Okay? Now, that body, neck, and head, you got a truss rod in that neck that has to be aligned. And that aligns your neck. If your neck moves too far back, you're going to deaden some strings.
Yep, rattle.
If it's too far forward, you're going to have a hard time trying to fret.
Yep.
So that makes it harder to play. Okay, that's like people. When we go to undertake any activity or try anything, we got to stand up straight. We got to have our body, head, and neck in alignment, and it makes it a lot easier to do the job. Now beyond that, in that head, you got a set of 6 tunable keys that tune your strings. Now your strings have to be in tune right before you start playing. Because if your strings aren't in tune, you can hold that G chord all day long. Just like that. That's how you hold a G chord. You can hold it all day long, but it's not going to play a G chord. Why? Because it's not in tune. We, like people, are like that too. We got to get our heads in tune to do it right. And our tuner's in our head too. It's called our brain. We got to get our brain right.
Our friend the car, you mentioned that a while ago.
Sir.
The math of life. Nothing lasts forever. The old ball game.
Baseball.
Tent hut. You ain't in the military. Did you have to do tent hut when you were training for the...
No, it felt like it though. My daddy, he's a former squad leader from the National Guard, and it kind of felt like it growing up sometimes.
He used some of that technique, huh?
He did. Some of that military jargon, a lot of it which cannot be repeated here because this is a family show, but you pick up a lot from that, but it makes sense.
It's all Greek to me.
That was also a wonderful one. That one was really a challenge to myself. It was a takeoff of 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, where I wound up linking monster trucks to the ancient Greeks through a lot of different ways. And really, it was just to see if I could do it.
Doggone it.
Doggone it, man. That's how dogs reply to life. I got a big old bulldog named Baby Girl. She's 63 pounds of love and awesomeness.
Uh-huh.
And that she kind of helped me with that, and watching her, she's a silly little puppy.
Food for thought. You like food, don't you?
Yes, sir.
The best job I ever had.
Which was being a friend.
It wasn't a job where you're working, it's a job of just being a friend to others.
That'd be harder to line up if I had to guess.
Have you ever met anybody that didn't like you?
Well, I am divorced.
Have you ever met anybody that didn't like you?
A few people. I
don't remember any.
Which, there was a movie very near and dear to my heart, where Sally Field said even Bambi has enemies.
I missed that one, or I was watching Bert, whatever his name was, riding in the car with her when she said it.
That's right.
Peachy Keen.
Oh, I love peaches. That's my favorite fruit in the whole world, man.
Hook, line, and sinker.
Fishing, buddy.
Fishing. My son played in a group called Hook, Line, and Sinker.
I remember that.
I still play a couple of their videos on when I need 2 or 3 minutes.
You know, I can remember them coming out to Jat one year and doing a...
That's right. A concert.
And we had our little conga line going all over the Lunchatorium.
Sure. People kits. Talk about that one.
People kits. Whenever I was a young child, my cousin started dating the man that she's been married to now for 26 years. Michael John Carr, really good guy, one of the best men I've ever met. And I don't really see him anymore. I don't even know if they still make them, but part of his hobby was putting together those plastic car model kits. And I just thought it was so cool that he could take a box of parts and paint them up and put them together and just make any kind of car, like that. And
were you jealous?
In some ways, yes, because even though I got into it because I wanted to be like him, never quite formulated the same skill that he did with it. I got a little bit of the butterfingers, and I ain't talking candy neither. I got to thinking about those model kits and how they apply to people. We are the model kit. We can paint ourselves how we want. It's how we project ourselves out to other people. And it's down to personal preference too. Some people, they like to stay low key and keep a very straight matte black color, and that's fine. And some people like a nice shiny metallic. My personal favorite color is chrome. If I had the money, I'd chrome plate my entire truck, brother. But that's just me. I'm attention hungry, and I don't make any bones about it. But that's just that.
How long you been working out at the prison?
Actually, at county.
Like I said, county. How long you been working out there?
County jail. 7 years. I made 7 years on October 26th.
Do you get more stripes the longer you stay, or is there anything like that?
We just had a interview for a promotion, but I didn't put in for it. You can. You have the option of doing it after a year, but I prefer to stay in the trenches with the grunts. I
hear you.
I have enough trouble running my life in general without having to worry about supervising somebody at work,
Well, what about Cousin Brenda?
Cousin Brenda, oh my lordy, she was a very, very special person. Brenda Baxter McDowell, probably the most...
Oh, Brenda McDowell, I know Brenda. Go ahead.
Probably the most important person that was in the making of that book. Brenda's daddy and my granddaddy were brothers. And Brenda was always really tight with us, really good.
She's a sweetheart girl, though,
She
buddy.
was. She really was. And she used to always, I actually started, when I started writing, I started writing when I was here at Chipola. This is how I got my first writing, mainly because I just wanted to see my face in the newspaper.
Sure.
Every time, and that's how I started writing, and plus I was always looking for a GPA pattern. I graduated with a 2.2. My mantra was C's make degrees. I figured since I was a public relations major, I needed to work on public relating more than my academics. But I started writing, and then I fell out of it. Once I, later on quit college after I went to another school, which I won't say here because it's a family show and we don't need any profanity. But so
we got 2 minutes left, Cobb.
2 minutes.
2
Hurry
minutes.
up, offense. Okay, so I started back writing, and I started publishing little stories on my MySpace and my Facebook. And Brenda read one day and just thought it was the most wonderful thing in the world. And really, I thought I had lost my touch. And really, it was a friend that had urged me to publish, and Brenda had always asked me when I was going to get published over and over and over again. And it took forever to finally get published. And Brenda just really always pushed me to do it. And unfortunately, before the book was published, Brenda passed. and I felt that it was very important just to give her her own chapter since she was so instrumental.
Well, it's the last one in the book.
Exactly. That's why.
Yeah, put it last.
I ended it, and I can't thank her enough. You know, family's so important in this world, and you know, especially when you got people like that. I mean, I love all my family. God, man, I got 4,000 cousins.
Yeah.
And I don't even know them all, but Brenda, she was always very special, and that's why she got her own little nod.
Well, I appreciate you being in here, Cobb, and I hope, folks, that you can buy his book from Amazon or call him. What's your phone number? They might want to call, get one of these.
My phone number?
You don't want to give it. It's okay if you don't
No,
want
that's
to.
fine.
Okay.
850-272-COBB.
272-COBB. 272-COBB. Well, I appreciate you being here today.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
And I'm ready for you to start your own show.
You know, I love any time I can get some attention.
You didn't listen carefully, Cobb. I want you to start your own show.
My own show.
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
When we get off the air. Appreciate you being here, brother.
Yes, sir.
Folks, you've seen it right here on Chipola College Television. This is Chipola Talks with Cobb Baxter. I appreciate Cobb, Mr. Chipola 2001, but most of all, I appreciate your watching and supporting Chipola College Television.